As we mentioned at the beginning of this special edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the ATV is a tool used by farmers and ranchers across Louisiana. But like any tool, if used improperly or by someone too young to control it, the results can be deadly. Joining me now is Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation Safety Director Wendell Miley. And Wendell, you've been on our program many times in the past years talking about ATV safety. This year in Louisiana, 10 people killed, including 2 children. How does 2009 stack up in terms of ATV safety this year?
Mike, the numbers are very comparable. Year in, year out in our state, we average around a dozen deaths around the state, and unfortunately, most of those deaths are occurring on our highways. They're not licensed to be on the roadway, and whenever they get into a collision with another vehicle, the results are usually pretty devastating. And
as we mentioned, riding an ATV on a Louisiana roadway is against the law. Are there any exceptions for farmers in terms of registering an ATV for use on the road? Can you do that?
There is a law on the books for our farmers in Louisiana that allows them to ride that ATV on the shoulder of the highway within a 5-mile radius of their farm, as long as they're using it within the operation of their farm.
Let's talk about children. You and I have spoken before about this. You know, you'd never give your child the keys to your car, yet there are folks out there, parents, who give their children the keys to these big ATVs. Do parents have any culpability when it comes to just handing the keys to a four-wheeler to a 9-year-old?
I believe they do. I think it's about being responsible and doing what you should be doing as a parent to protect your kid. You know, they need to have some training on that machine, number one, and knowing how to handle it in a safe manner. And they need to make sure that they're not riding daddy's ATV, because a lot of times an ATV is purchased by the family and everybody from daddy down to little Johnny rides it, and a small kid does not have the mental and physical capability to handle that machine when a dangerous situation arrives.
What kind of law would you like to see crafted that kind of regulated who gets to ride these vehicles and how?
I think the main focus of a law needs to be making sure that the size of the kid fits the size of the ATV. Therein lies the biggest problem with our youngsters riding too big of an ATV. So that needs to be, in my mind, the focus of that law.
If you had one thing to say to kids out there who are probably going to be getting ATVs for Christmas this year, what would that one thing be?
Keep them off the highway. 70 to 80% of the death that occurs on these machines happens on the highway. They're hit by trucks, cars, 18-wheelers. I've got some clippings on railroad accidents where they were hit by trains. Keeping them off the highway and reducing your speed and just being careful on them.
Absolutely. Words to live by, certainly. Wendell Miley, thanks very much.
Yes, sir.
Wendell Miley, he is the Safety Director for the Louisiana Farm Bureau.